Welcome to the Rebel Mums podcast. We're here to explore doing motherhood differently. And today I've got Fiona Sim with me. Fiona is an amazing mum of two girls who home educates and runs her own business. So, welcome, Fiona. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm really excited about this conversation because you really are doing motherhood differently. And I'm really curious about, can you tell us how that looks in your actual life?
Yeah, definitely. So should I just give you like a breakdown of our typical day?
Yeah,
We start
daily
there.
life of
Okay,
Fiona Sim.
so
Here we go.
we the children get up at children time. Sometimes that can be anywhere from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. The older one normally a bit earlier than the younger one. And we normally just kind of chill about in the morning. And the morning is really interesting because regularly, I would say at least once a week, possibly more, it gets to about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'm looking around me and I'm thinking we would never have fitted into a school day routine ever because nobody is ready, nobody is dressed. Like normally they like to have a little stage between pajamas and clothes where they just walk around in the nudie or in their knickers. And I'm like, this wouldn't work for us
Nice.
because like my dishes are still not done. My house is nowhere near tidy. I'm not dressed, they're not dressed. I've maybe exercised, but I probably haven't showered. And I'm just like, I like our slow mornings. I like the
Yeah.
way they are, and I just think I would be so stressed if I had to push them out the door every day to school.
Mm. How old are your
So
girls?
they're 6 and 3.
Okay.
So we're officially 1 year in officially to home ed, but we
Mm.
decided when the oldest was 9 months to do it. So we've kind of just been like nothing's really changed in our life. I don't do any specific curriculum or like scheduled learning or anything like that. She just learns as we go along. She likes to write birthday cards. She likes to read with me. She wants to read herself. She's kind of just teaching herself as we go along, and I obviously help her when she needs help, but we don't do specific sit down schooling. We go outside every day, so normally in the morning because you get to about 9:30 and I'm like, we need to leave this house now because everyone's getting a bit
Yeah.
ratty. So we normally go out, we'll probably go to the park or we'll go meet our friends in the woods or we'll go to, and when it's term time, there's often a toddler group on a Wednesday and I run the breastfeeding support group on a Friday morning. So we're normally out and about doing stuff. We're not necessarily doing anything like particularly planned, but we're just like musing around. At the moment, we're fruit picking, so we were doing cherry picking and stuff yesterday because the fruit's all out. Um, we have lunch at some point, quite often a picnic wherever we are. And then afternoons, we could be at home, we could still be out if the day has. We're just really flexible, really. So, like, we could
Mm.
start the day with a plan in mind, but the thing we were doing in the morning, we could just keep doing that all day because we're loving it. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times we've gone to the beach in the morning and still been there at 6 o'clock at night because everybody's quite happy.
Mm.
And if I
I
bring
love
enough
that.
food, it's
Just
all good.
going with the flow, which
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
can't do when your children are at school.
No,
Um, What would you say? I know I did look into home educating my children, but I didn't have support of my husband at the time. And what would you say to people who say to you, but they're not getting socialized or they're not getting a formal education?
yeah. So, I mean, in terms of the socialization argument, that is the funniest argument to me because my children and the other children, I mean, we've got friends who are in school and who are not in school. And if you put them in a group together in the holidays, for example, you're probably not going to be able to tell the difference. Like they all play quite happily with each other. My children are some of the most social children I've ever met. They'll go to a park, there'll be children they don't know there. They'll decide that they want to play or want to be friends with them, and they'll just go and do that. They'll find a way to be friends with them. And
Mm.
so it's really not something that has ever worried me or crossed my mind. At the beginning, when I first decided to home ed, I did make a conscious decision in my head because I am not fantastic at doing big group social things. And I still don't, we don't do a lot of it now. We normally just do it with our friends and we don't normally go to big events. But I did make a kind of conscious decision with myself that I would have to make sure that I kind of got over that fear of mine so that they could just learn to be social. But I mean, it doesn't have to be other children. Like if you're going out and living your daily life, like you're going to the shop, the supermarket, you're talking to the checkout lady, you're talking to people who always stop when there's kids in the shop and they'll talk to them if they're in the trolley or whatever. Like you're having interaction with people of all ages all day. So it's really a non-issue because they're not, it
And
doesn't
that's
need
actually a more natural way,
yeah, it doesn't need to be like
more
forced
natural than being with
socialization.
them.
Yeah, and then in terms of the argument of a formal education, um, I can see where people are coming from with that one because obviously there are quite a lot of jobs these days that you would need to, like if you wanted to be a doctor, for instance, and you wanted to do medicine at university, you would need to do some form of exams to do that. I don't think it necessarily means that that formal education has to take part in a school. Like these days,
Mm,
there is Open University, there is colleges, there are all these places where you can go through your exams and do what you want to do if that is your choice to follow those particular pathways. I do think that in the school system, they kind of forget about the entrepreneurial side of things and they forget about
mm,
the apprenticeship side of things because they obviously they're how good of a school they are. Sometimes often comes down to exam results and how many of their students then move on to university. So they are naturally going to try and filter people towards that route, but not everybody is suited to that, as we all very well know. So,
mm.
so I don't think even if I wanted to offer them a formal education, I don't think I'd be doing that through the school system. I'd be putting it together myself, whether that's like online A levels or open uni or like, there's so many online curriculums these days. Even if you wanted to do home ed with a structure, which lots of people do, and that's completely fine, there is like an abundance of educational resources out there, all the way from free up until paid, like super duper expensive paid, just like you
Yeah.
would in the school system. So, again, for me, once you've done a bit of research, it's another non-issue.
Yes. And talking of not taking a conventional route in terms of work and being entrepreneurial, brings us nicely onto your own work.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about about your business and how you work that around home ed with your
Yeah, yeah,
girls?
of course. So when it all ties in really, because when we decided to home ed, I was like, okay, well, if I want to make money, I'm going to have to figure out a way to do it from home. And she was really young at the time, and it took me a long time, 4 to 5 years of sort of going through the highs of, oh, I've got a really good idea and getting right into it and then being like, no, I could never do this. I can never do this. And then having the lows of being like, I'm going to be stuck like this forever. And I'm never, ever going to
Yeah.
be able to make any money and it's going to be so rubbish. And then over
Yeah.
all those years, obviously I learned as I was going along. Like I learned in the times that I was doing stuff, and I learned in the times that I wasn't doing stuff, how to sort of manage my time and fit things in. And then it's the same as everything. Like the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more you like analyze your situation. As long as you're looking at it from an opportunistic point of view, and you're thinking, where can I find the time, and not, I don't have lots of time. You'll find the bits that you need to find. Like you'll be able to do what you need to do because I really do think like your true priorities show up in the actions you take. Like I can say all I want that my business,
Mm.
and I did for those years say that starting a business and making money was a priority for me, but my actions were not actually
I
in line
love
with what I
that.
was
Your
saying.
priorities show up in the actions that you take.
They do because
Yeah.
as soon as I made it a non-negotiable that I was going to have a business. So this is what happened. Basically, my daughter one day was asked by someone. I don't think it was me because I don't ask them this question. Maybe my husband or someone else. She was asked, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" Or what do you want to work as, or something along those lines. And she was like, I'm just going to find a man who'll make money for me. And I was like, no, I was like, that's not what I'm trying to show you here. Like, that's not what I'm trying to teach you. I
Yeah.
mean, like, if that is your conscious choice when you're older, then fair enough. But like, you need to know that you can do all
Mm,
these things for yourself. And I realized at that point that because I wasn't really getting on and doing the business and really showing them me working and building something, that even though I was telling them that this was a value of mine. I wasn't modeling it. Like they weren't seeing that from me. They were seeing me at home with them all day, not working, and my husband out to work every day
mm,
making money. And so that really kickstarted me into the mindset of like, this is a non-negotiable. Like I am going to build this business. I'm going to
mm.
um, build the foundations we need to be able to travel and do the things we really want to do. And like I said, like that, it became a priority for me over Netflix, over all these things that I never thought I'd want to give up, like sitting in the evening and being calm and like
Yeah.
just being quiet. Like I never thought I'd want to give that up because I was like, I need that time for me. But to be honest with you, because I love what I'm doing and because I mean, I love it most of the time because I love what I'm doing,
Yes.
because I know that I am the driving force behind it. And because I made it a non-negotiable, I now work in the evenings every evening. If I need a break, I'll take a break, but it might just be like an hour and then I'll go, like I'll do some more things before bed. But you find ways to slot these things in throughout the day. Like, for example, if I really need to get something done and they are really insistent on having my attention, what we use a timer quite often, a sand timer, and it's a 10-minute one. So we'll do 10 minutes of whichever comes first. We'll do 10 minutes of saying reading a book with them, and then I'll get 10 minutes to do some work, and then we'll do 10 minutes again of doing something for them. So they know their time is coming. They know I'm going to give them time with me, and they also know that when I'm doing my 10 minutes, they can play beside me, and they just let me get on with my stuff. So that's quite useful in a practical sense. But
Mm. No,
but
I'm quite interested in the strategies that you use as well, because I'm sure there'll be people watching or listening who are thinking, well, how could she have two children at home all the time and a business? And do you have much support? Is your partner around? Does he do the home ed bits? Or how does it all work on a practical level?
so my husband works full time and he also does open uni. And so not in a mean way, but he is not like he's not really there very much. He'll spend like maybe half an hour with them in the evening before they go to bed, and he'll maybe take them to the park for an hour at the weekends. And that's just the way it works for us at the moment, and that is another conversation.
Yes.
But if I really need to do something, for example, like do this call with you, I can come to my mum's. My mum lives in the same village, in the same town as me, so I'll come to hers. But she's not. She's very much like, I've raised my children. I'm not going to raise yours, which is absolutely fine with me. I completely agree with her. Like this is my job. But she's quite happy to do like an hour here and there while I
Mm,
while I do a call. I also have a really great group of friends, and this is, I feel like community is such an important part because I have a
yeah.
really good group of friends, and they we will like, so for example, one of my friends, I take their daughter on a Thursday, or I take them one day a week depending on what their weeks look like, and then when we hang out at the weekend, they'll give me an hour or two to go and do some work. So like we make it all
Mm,
work between us in a way that works for us. Like I know that there's people
yeah.
there who I can ask if I need help, and I've had to be really good at getting good at asking for help because I would never have done that before. Like I felt guilty
Mm,
about it. Like I would always offer my help, but I would feel really uncomfortable asking for help. But that's got easier because I really want to make make it work. And
yeah.
it's also good
I'm
for the
still
girls.
working on that one.
Yeah, yeah, it's also really good for the girls to spend time with other people that aren't me. Like I obviously they're not in school because I want to spend time with them, but being together 24/7 with no gaps is hard work. Like it's really
Mm,
hard, and I don't want them to just like I want them to get more experience of adults than just me. Like, so I want them
yeah.
to spend time with my friends on their own when I'm not there, and I want them to spend time with my mom. And when my husband's family is from Lithuania, so if we go there, we go for a week. My husband often he comes maybe once a year, but we go more often, and they'll spend all week with their grandparents, and I'll be there, but I'll be doing work while they play. Like their grandparents will be mostly responsible for them.
Yeah.
So I like that about it. And then on a business side of things, I'm a mums and business leader, networking leader for my area too, which I've just started doing. But that's a really great online community of business people who like you can show up with your kids on the calls and stuff. It's not really, they don't really mind. So it's it's really all about the people around you, to be honest with you. And I get that it's super hard if you don't have that. But one thing I would say to someone who doesn't have that but wants to have a business is like go out there and find that community because they will be there. It's just a case of
Mm,
like finding them.
being creative, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
and asking for help.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your business.
Oh yeah, I'm a certified business strategist, and I help other mums to grow their business, grow their online business through intentional, meaningful action taking without having to rely on childcare or a 9 to 5 routine. So essentially, helping people. I'm essentially an accountability buddy. I'm a bum kicker. I'm a motivator. I'm like, that's what I'm good at, is getting people
Yeah.
into action, getting them into doing the things they need to do to move their business forward. And it works really well because obviously I am living what I'm teaching. So I
Yes.
can show
Yeah.
it through what I'm doing, and I can do the behind the scenes stuff that shows people what it's actually like. And and I will never sugarcoat it. Like, it's hard work. Like, I am
Mm,
constantly tired, but it's a good tired. I'm not tired
mm.
in a way that I feel like I need to stop. I'm tired in a way that feels like accomplished.
Yes. Fulfilling and
Yeah,
rewarding. Tired.
exactly.
And that sort of brings me on to my next question, which is about how do you, I'm asking this of everyone who's coming to the podcast, how do you keep your sanity in all of this?
How do I keep my sanity? Do I keep my sanity? It's a good question. Sometimes I feel like I cannot keep my sanity. Sometimes I feel like an absolute lunatic. I'm not going to lie. But
I love the honesty.
I think I think it's just sort of like being like learning to be really in tune with yourself. So I've done a lot of work over the last couple of years as I've grown the business.
Mm,
I've done a lot of inner work as well, just like on me and how I think and how I like how my own like how I feel, really, like how my body's feeling, like how my energy flows, like let's all face it, like the time in the month, that's a whole big thing. Like, that's a
yeah.
whole cycle all the way through your month, and it's not just a cycle of like what's going on inside your body, like it's energy levels too. And if you pay
Mhm,
really close attention to it, you'll find that. So I know, like, either a couple of days before, a couple of days during my period, or a couple of days after, I'm going to have a major slump and I'm not going to want to do
mhm.
anything. So on those days, I know they're coming and I can prepare for them. And I can know that when they're happening, that I have done lots of work previous to counteract this.
Mm,
And that means I can be like, that's fine. You can sit down and watch telly this evening because you've done the things you need to do. Like, you don't need to feel guilty that you're not doing something this evening, because you
yeah.
understand that this is what your body's like, and that's fine.
And everything about your choices allow you to work within your own rhythms.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's just really
So
listen.
maybe that's the sanity.
Yeah, yeah, probably, actually. Even if it seem loopy sometimes. But yeah, no, it's hard work. But it's absolutely possible. Definitely.
Mm,
You just need to be ready to work, really.
mm, yeah. So say you've got a mom coming to you who's looking to start a business and she wants to have this lifestyle that you have where you can work around your children and work according to your own rhythms and do something you love as well. What would be like one piece of advice that you would give her?
My my one piece of advice is twofold. Okay. So it first of all would be like, start actually doing it, not planning it, not thinking about it, not like, it doesn't matter if your
Wow.
plans are ready or not. Like, just start doing something towards it, actually something that creates a little bit of movement. It doesn't have to be massive at all. It could just be something like setting your social media profile to professional instead of personal, or
Mm,
it could be speaking to someone that you know you want to work with, just to get a bit more information on what it is they actually need. Or it could be speaking to other people in similar businesses, like just something that is not just you sitting and planning, or you, because it's really easy to
yeah.
procrastinate while planning.
To take some
And
action.
yeah, yeah, so action, but one step at a time.
Yeah.
Don't think about your action being from the starting point to a year or two down the line. Think about the starting point as like, I'm starting right here. Where do I want to be tomorrow? Where do I want to be the
Mm,
next day? Where do I want to be the next day? Not where do I want to be in 6 months. It's good to have the goal of where you want to be in 6 months' time,
yeah.
but don't your action is not corresponding to that particular goal when you're just starting out, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense at all.
Just what do I need to do next?
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yes, absolutely. And if anyone wants to know more about Fiona's work, I'm going to drop some details in the comments or in the spiel bit. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called either, actually.
No, in the description.
Description, yeah, that's
There, we got there eventually. I will drop some information about Fiona in the description. So if you are a mum that's thinking about having her own business and working around your children, Fiona is the woman to speak to. And thank you so much for joining us, Fiona. It's been like fascinating conversation, and I think you're super inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
And you are a kick-ass rebel mom.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. High praise indeed.
Absolutely, well earned. So if you've liked this conversation, then click on subscribe and watch out for the next Rebel Mums podcast.